Hotep to the mighty scholars of Seeing Code for Freedom Academy Charter School, and welcome to a new week of cyber programming. It is Monday, May 18th. And family, we're moving through the month of May really quick. That means that summer's going to be here soon. And we got some move-up days coming up. And just because we can't do things physically, we have some very special things that we are doing technologically, online, cyberly, if that's a word. And so be on the lookout for that. And I'm really proud of how all of our scholars in the lower school have been doing their work and staying on task. And so thank you all for doing such a fantastic job. Family, we have something different today. We are going to do the pouring of libations, but as I've been sharing with you, I have a very special guest. Her name is Kemberly Meyer. Kemberly Meyer, who is a registered nurse at Einstein Medical Center, and she has been an experienced nurse for several years, and she has been in the front lines of this whole virus situation. And you guys have been sending in some really good questions that she is going to address and hopefully make you guys feel a little bit better about what has been going on and make you a little clearer on what's been going on. We have a new word of the day. We are not going to do a read aloud. We're going to use that as our read aloud time, family. And so I hope that you learned something new from that, from the video that I'm going to show of with my interview with my friend Kemberly. But anyway, family, let's all please stand in a very strong Angalaya as we start our day, like every single day, with the pouring of libations. And of course, family, we have permission from our elder to begin, Dr. Mama, and to that we say Ashe. And we pour libations to the gift of life, laughter, love, and learning, Ashe. We pour libations to our health, Ashe. And to the energy that woke us up this morning, Ashe. And the force, the energy, the creative force, known by many names, in many faiths and many languages, and we say Ashe. And we pour libations to the cradle of civilization, Ashe. The cradle of Africa. We pour affirmation to the continent of Africa. And we pour to the many gifts given to us from the continent of Africa, like sciences, medicine, agriculture, scripture, arithmetic, and astronomy, Ashe. And we pour libations to the kingdoms that were named after Ashe. Kingdoms like the Yoruba nation, Kush, Congo, Songhai, Maasai. And we pour libations to the kings and queens of these nations, Ashe. Queen Nefertiti, Ashe. Queen Nzinga, Ashe. Queen Amina, Ashe. King Sunny Ali, Ashe. King Mansa Musa, Ashe. And we pour libations to the freedom fighters of the continent of Africa, Ashe. Patrice Lumumba, Ashe. And Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela, Ashe. And we pour libations to those who left the continent of Africa, those who were not afraid of the challenges of climbing the mountains and crossing the oceans and traveling through the valleys to give birth to humanity, Ashe. And we pour libations to those who were taken from the continent of Africa against their will, Ashe. To the Ma'afa in the Middle Passage, Ashe. And to the millions of lives that were lost, Ashe. But we also pour libations to those who survived the Middle Passage and made it over to the Americas, North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean, Ashe. Those lives from who we descend, Ashe. And to the kingdoms that were on this side of the world for centuries before they were so-called discovered. Civilizations like the Mayas, the Incas, the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Taínos, Ashe. And we pour libations to the freedom fighters of the New World, Ashe, like Toussaint Louverture, Marcus Garvey, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Ashe. Malcolm X, Ashe. Ella Baker, Ashe. And we pour affirmations to the institutions that teach us about this great history that we have, our legacy, and also teach us about our challenges from our history in order for us to move forward and build upon this foundation that we were given, Ashe. And we pour affirmations to the scholars, young scholars like you who are learning about our history and building upon our circle, I say. And to the babies and the babies and those who are going to come and complete our circle, I say. And family, we also pour libations to our personal ancestors in our direct bloodline, and we may hold them in our hearts. Ashe. And lastly, family, we pour libations to the ancestors in hopes that they receive and accept this libation. Ashe, ashe, ashe. And so, family, the principle of the month is, and that means Ashe, yes, the principle of the month is Kuumba, and that means creativity and family. I appreciate you all being so creative at this time and building yourselves, really. And so many of you have been sending in videos and photos of the things that you are creating, and we have shared those. And I hope to continue to share some of your work as you continue to send them in. Last week we had a poem, we had a few artworks that were sent in as well, and some dancing as well, and I hope to continue that. So please send in some photos and videos of yourselves doing Kuumba, practicing Kuumba, being on your Kuumba. Yay, Bo. And so, family, without further ado, I would like to share my interview with a registered nurse in Philadelphia at the Einstein Medical Center in Albany. And her name is Kemberly Meyer. I have known Kemberly for a long time, and I've watched her grow from a teenager into a family woman, and a very responsible, what we would call a hero. And so she's answering a lot of your questions, and I hope that you guys gain some knowledge from this and some comfort from this interview. And make sure that you comment down below any of your thoughts and questions or anything as you are watching the video. Yay, Bo. And we'll talk more on the other side. All right, I'll see you there. And I want to welcome you, Kemberly Meyer and BSRN. So first question is, what do those letters stand for?
So that stands for Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and I'm a registered nurse. Yes.
Wow. Okay. And so a lot of children are seeing nurses, and it's funny how we talk about doctors and medical practitioners and everything, but when we talk about nurses, a lot of young people are looking at you as heroes. Because, I mean, let me get a little personal. I get personal with my students, and they know a lot about me. And I have this anxiety. I have health anxiety. And so it's so much to the point where it affects me physically. And so when I hear about coronavirus and I hear somebody just coughing, I just get really tense. So I can't even imagine what you feel and how much it affects you mentally and just physically draining when you're seeing this. Do you mind expressing, like, just, and of course, speaking to young people, so, but yes, how do you
I have a sister who deals with anxiety, so I know that it can be like a tricky topic to talk about or in everyday life, but I try to see it in a positive way. So I don't feel like any type of way about it when I go to work or when I go to the store, because I feel like we have to fuel ourselves with the facts. So the facts are, if you do proper hand washing, when you get home from whatever store you need to go to, right? Because we're doing like essential shopping at this point. That if you do correct hand washing, you should be okay. Especially if you wear a mask when you go to the store, and if you're just not around sick people. Okay. So we just have to like look at the facts day to day. I know that like the overall, like when we think about like how long this is gonna last or what long-term effects it's gonna have, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But when we think of it day to day, I think we should just stick to the facts and just try to. And I know it's harder. It's easier said than done. Yeah. Like I get that, but but yeah, as long as you wash your hands and stay away from large crowds, you're doing the best that you can.
Okay.
So,
And you addressed the long term. That was one of our questions. One of the students asked, how long is this going to last? But I think what you're saying is the most important thing is to take it day by day. Correct.
Right.
Is there any idea on how long this might last?
So I think the thing that we have to, the biggest thing that will help us is the vaccine that they're hopefully going to develop. But other than that, we're really unsure. You know, like we've been dealing with coronaviruses since I feel like they've known about viruses. And the last outbreak being MERS and SARS, which occurred, I think, in the 2000s somewhere. And I know like a lot of the kids are not going to remember that or have been around for that. But also like we've dealt with like Ebola and Zika, and those viruses, although they're not an outbreak right now, they still exist. So this virus is just a new one that we are still learning about. So it's kind of hard to predict like how long it's going to be around, because it's probably going to be around forever. It's just we're gonna eventually know so much about it that it would be just like getting the flu. Right. You know, like there's people that still get the flu even though we have flu vaccines, but it's more controlled. Yeah.
And our immune systems do develop stronger antibodies, correct?
Antibodies, exactly.
And so we're exposed to all of this for so many generations that eventually, 25 years from now, people are going to say, oh, well, I got to go home. I got to call out sick from work today because I got COVID-19, and we just sleep it off or take, care of ourselves and go back. Okay. So
just like the common cold used to be a big deal.
Absolutely.
Hundreds of years ago, but now it's just the common cold. We know how to treat it. We know we have the antibodies to protect us, and we move on in a couple of days.
Right. Okay. So London Hightower says, do you think there will be another pandemic? Will there be any more quarantines?
So, yes. Yeah. So the thing is, yeah, like I was saying, like we've had waves of other viruses, not as like pandemic as the COVID-19. But yeah, so I do believe that viruses still are going to mutate. And so it might happen in their lifetime. But will it be as strict and all this crazy stuff as this one? I mean, we don't know. And are there going to be more quarantines? I think so. So I know that one of the questions that I got from you was like, how long is this quarantine going to last?
Yes.
So I hope the kids know that there's states that are opening for business already. There's I think like half of Maryland is opening up already, Georgia, parts of Texas, Florida. But that's because I guess officials see numbers going down every single day for a certain amount of time, and they believe that they have it controlled, so they're able to open up certain businesses and stuff like that. So I think that our time might be this summer. I would imagine in June.
Okay.
And then probably back to like quarantine in the fall. Because we have to understand that there's probably going to be a second wave. But the cool thing about it is that we already know what to do. Like we already know, the rules about staying at home, the rules about hand washing. And hopefully during the summer we get to still practice hand washing, still not be around too many people, because I don't believe like concerts will be around, or amusement parks will be open,
and pools are going to be closed,
or if they do, they'll be limited.
Right. And pools are going to be closed, and rec centers are going to be closed, from what I understand, in Philly. Yeah. And again, scholars, so no matter how warm, and I'm sending a message to scholars, it's going to be nice. You're going to be tempted to go out and do all these fun things, but make sure that you are practicing hand washing. And as our guest is saying, Kemberly is saying, make sure that you are washing your hands and practicing safe distance. And if you do that, you will be okay. So Kemberly, you work at Einstein Medical Center, correct?
Yeah.
Einstein Medical Center, right there at what's that? At Terminal, right across from Girls High, I believe, right? And and you went to Girls High? Did you? Okay, right.
Yes.
So, and so it gets very busy in there, correct? And so one of our questions from Samir Nance asked, how do you help people be safe and stay safe from the COVID-19?
So I personally take care of patients who are positive for coronavirus or are awaiting results for coronavirus. So my patients range from like people with heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure. So
oh wow, so the high risk. Wow.
Yeah, because I work on a cardiac floor. So if I get that patient, that means that they have issues that require heart monitoring at all times. So it's not like your typical like, general medical floor patient. It's like a little bit more precise the stuff that you need to do for them. But either way, so I help them by like, checking if they have a fever, checking their vital signs, giving them medication, and then just making them feel better as best as I can until they're strong enough to go home. Yeah.
And that's a large percentage of them, if I may ask?
A large percentage of what?
Of those who get to go home and...
Oh, yes, definitely. I think the survival rate is 97%.
Wow. And that's even with heart conditions and diabetes.
Well, it actually like makes it, if it messes up your trajectory of the virus by having comorbidities, but no. So like at Einstein, I think we've had less than 100 deaths this entire time.
Okay.
I know that seems like a big number, but I want to make people understand that a lot of these people were already sick to begin with. A lot of our patients that have passed away were like nursing home patients, like already like immunocompromised. I don't know if that's too big of a word. But yeah.
So their immune systems were a lot weaker.
Exactly. So like a lot of our patients do end up going home. I mean, they obviously have to go home and like self-isolate from their families. But no, a lot of our patients, all of my patients have gone home.
Good.
Personally. Yeah.
And scholars, take a look at this young lady, and she is exposed to this every single day for hours every day, and look how healthy she is. Look at that smile. Look at that glowing skin. And so for those scholars who are worried about this, understand that this young lady, Kemberly, she sees it every day, and she sees the not so happy side of it. But she comes home and she does everything that she needs to do to keep her family safe, to keep herself safe, and she continues to do this. And so if that doesn't inspire you, I look, then I don't know what else to do. I'll just keep doing read aloud every morning and just keep it moving. But anyway, you talked about, one of our scholars, Zane Hayes, asked about people transitioning, people passing away. And so you talked about that. So a lot of people are going home, and those who are passing away, they had been sick. They have other things that have made this, were similar to how if you have the flu or a cold and it affects you. And
I just want to point out though that like, even if you're young, if you have asthma, that's one of those things that like you should be more careful about, because it's a respiratory virus. So like we have to make sure, all of our friends and family that have, pretty bad asthma, to stay away from people that are sick, or to just be more mindful of when they're around other people. Because they really shouldn't be, because you guys should be home.
Right.
With your
Say it again. You should be home. Stay home. Stay home and do your cyber work. How about that? and on nice days, just make sure that if you feel like it is necessary for you to go out, or if your parents have to take you somewhere, just make sure that you are washing your hands, not touching your face, making sure your face is covered. Correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of us think like since we didn't see anything dirty, like we don't see what's on our hands, we can just go on and touch other things. But we really just need to, if you're not near a sink, you just need to use some hand sanitizer, clean your hands with that while you're outside or whatever, playing outside. Because the person who touched the doorknob before you, or the handrail before you, or the bus before you, are the buses running? I don't know.
Buses are running.
Okay.
Buses are running. Yes.
Yeah, so they could have had it, and now you're touching it. And the whole reason about like washing your hands is preventing you from having the germs enter your body through your eyes, nose, and mouth. Because a lot of us either like scratch our eye or just like rub our nose or eat something with our hands, and that's how we get the virus. So that's why it's so important to wash your hands.
And do you see a lot of children?
No, I don't see any actually.
Okay. And is that because it's such a low percentage of children?
Well, no, it's because it's an adult hospital. But
see, I messed it all up.
Usually don't get it. Children are usually vectors, so they're the germy people that pass it on to older people, but they usually don't get it.
Okay. And so that shows a lot that they have strong immune systems, and
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You hear that, Scholar? So it's all your fault. No, I'm joking. It's not. You guys are so strong and healthy that it's although you have to practice, social distancing and being clean. It's not something for you guys to be you have to be responsible about it. How about, let's say that, let's let that be the word of the day, responsible. I'm going to make sure we use that word. Kimberly, do you have any more advice, anything else that you would like to share? I know how busy you are. I don't want to keep you.
Oh no, it's completely fine. I wrote some stuff. Let me see.
Y después vamos a practicar en español para las entrevistas de español. Okay. No, I'm just playing with you.
Ahorita no. I just wrote, I know it could be frustrating to have to stay at home, especially when it's beautiful like today. But I just wrote, try to find ways to stay active. Even if you're not doing schoolwork, you can learn a new dance on TikTok. You can play board games with your siblings. You can watch a new TV show or maybe a YouTube, or even read a book. There's also audio books that you could listen to if you don't feel like reading, because I know sometimes I hate reading, but audiobooks are a lifesaver. And if you have space out front of your house or a little backyard, you can just stay active by playing with your siblings and people that you live with. That's it.
That's really good advice. And wash your hands, absolutely. And while you're outside, lay in the sun, get some vitamin D into your system.
Right.
Not too much sun.
It's great for your immune system. It really is.
It's funny. My oldest daughter, she of course she knows Spanish and English, and she has been so busy with schoolwork. But whenever on her downtime, she's been on Duolingo, learning Korean. She's a huge BTS fan, and she has been for a couple of years, and now she understands Korean. My middle child is learning Spanish really easily, really quick on Duolingo, and that's what she does when she's not doing her schoolwork. My younger child, she has developed a YouTube channel using this new Bloxburg thing that children are doing. So there are tons. Cool. Yeah, so I appreciate the advice, and you guys heard it from a specialist, an expert, someone who has seen all of this right in front of her face in real life. It's not news to her. This isn't something Sister Kemberly is not sitting in front of her TV listening to CNN or watching the news. She's actually a part of it, and she is here with us, healthy, telling you guys how to stay healthy. And I hope, scholars, that this helped you feel a little better about your curiosities about what's going on, and it inspires you to be responsible with your health and with the health of others. Yay, bum. All right. So, Kimberly, thank you so much for your time. I know you are a superhero, and I mean that sincerely. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate your time. Anything else?
Oh, I just want to let them know that you were my first boss ever. 18 years ago. 18 years ago?
Yep.
18 years ago.
Yep, at Julio de Burgos.
18 years ago in 2002. That was
Yep.
18 years ago.
Yep.
And it was like for, what was that?
That was Julio de Burgos. That was, back then it was called the Futuros program, which turned into the North Star program.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember the Pearly. She was in after school. She was in, and then you were on my desk, at my desk. Yeah, you're always at my desk.
Yep.
Always doing work in my desk.
Yeah, I was like helping with like that stuff. I don't know. I started working at 13.
Yes, I remember that. Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, just want to let them know.
Yeah, let them know how old I am.
Success story. Oh, sorry, no, he's not old, you guys. He's not.
I am. 18 years ago, I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have all this gray hair. All right.
Yeah,
well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Kimberly.
Soon. All right.
Bye-bye. Ashe. And so, family, I hope that you guys gained some knowledge and some comfort from these questions and answers that you heard. Shout out and thank you. A very special thank you to Kemberly Meyer, registered nurse at Einstein Medical Center. She brings so much experience. I have known her since she was a teenager, and I've watched her grow and become such a positive person, so successful, and I'm so proud of her and how she's always been a wonderful young lady, and she just continues to get more excellent every day. And so thank you, Kimberly, for your time, and thank you to the scholars who contributed to the interview, asking some very good questions. So thank you all. Make sure that you comment down below any more questions that you may have, but also comment the word of the day. The word of the day is responsible. And so let me know what you think of the word, what you think when you hear the word responsible. We are responsible for our spaces and our times, but I also want to make sure that you guys are responsible for yourselves. Make sure that you are loving yourselves. But you let me know what you think of when you hear the word responsible. What are you responsible for? What does responsible mean to you? And again, make sure that you comment down below. And shout out to all the medical practitioners. And special shout out to one that is among us every day, Sister Mona. Thank you so much, Sister Mona, for loving us and caring for all of us scholars and staff at Seiko for Freedom Academy Charter School. Special shout out to Sister Mona. I hope to see her very soon. But also shout out to those who have experienced not so healthy times and continue to shower us with love. Shout out to Sister Katina. Shout out to Mama Dana. Shout out to Sister Joy, Brother Issa, and all of the teachers and facilitators and adults and even scholars who may have been experiencing some unhealthy times, but continue to be positive and continue to shower us with love. So, family, again, I hope that this shows you that among all of these things that bring us questions and concerns and discomforts, we are still able to be positive and loving and recover and move forward with it being even better than we were. And so, yes, let's actually think about that. My voice just jumped up an octave, but let's think about that right now for a moment of silence. What positive things did we gain from just this interview alone? And so let's think about that for a moment of silence. And our moment of silence begins now. Ashe. And yes, not just through the questions and answers with Kemberly, but just this whole experience, the time that we are spending with families, the things that we are learning about ourselves, the growth I've seen with some scholars just through this cyber experience and how they are being more vocal and responsible with what they are learning. I have seen that in so many scholars. And so, family, we can focus on the news, and what the news is telling us, but we must focus on so many of the positive things. So many people are recovering, and so many of us are just growing as people. And I am proud of all of you. And again, thank you for all the hard work. And so, family, speaking of hard work, let's get back to our cyber programming. Make sure that you sign into sfacs.us and click on that cyber link that says lower school. Sign into the attendance tracker and make sure that you are turning in your work. Yay, Bo. Yay, Bo. Okay, family, so until tomorrow, I will see you then. Make sure you're doing your work. I see you again. Peace. Love you. Bye-bye.